Yes, 101.1 FM, AM 1160. The last time we talked with Awstin Gregg, it was, I believe, in June, and we were talking about happy employees, keeping a smile on your employees' faces, and what a great benefit that is, not only to them, but to you as a company. Today we want to talk about something that's along those same lines, because a random act of kindness certainly should put a smile on people's faces. Awstin Gregg is with us. Our conversation brought to you by Marcus & Mack, a law firm representing injured people. Awstin, how are you?
Hey, I'm great. Thanks for having me back.
I'm glad that you're back with us. Our licensed clinical social worker, CEO of Connections Wellness Group. Awstin, I was at an Altoona Curve baseball game, our Pirates minor league affiliate, just a couple of days ago, and it was bobblehead night giveaway. And it was raining and everything, and I didn't think I wanted to stay through the rain, so we left early. And as we were leaving, there was a mom and her son coming in, her teenage son, and they got there late for the ball game, and the bobbleheads were all gone. And she said, we drove all the way from North Carolina to Altoona, Pennsylvania, to get this bobblehead. And they're probably all gone, aren't they? We were walking outside the stadium. She said, we said, yeah, and they're all gone. But we said, we've got an extra one here. You can have this one. So we gave them our bobblehead, but she didn't want to accept it because it just didn't seem right to her. She insisted on paying for it. Awstin, sometimes people, they just can't handle a random act of kindness, can they?
You're right, and it's so strange. It's as though we feel guilty for accepting kindness, and it's a crazy little paradox.
It really is. Let's talk about a random act of kindness. What motivates it, and what kind of a difference can it make in the life of somebody who's on the receiving end?
It makes a tremendous difference on both ends. The giver there, one of the recommendations we have for people to improve their mental health is to have kindness towards other people. And whenever we provide that, the receiver also gets to experience that kindness of another person that they may not even know. It gives us a little hope of positivity.
Yeah, and we certainly need that in this world, don't we?
You know, we certainly do need some kindness to balance out everything else.
Yeah, when we think about it and when we hear the news and we see the people who seem so angry. I think I recall asking you in the interview that we did back in June, Awstin, how come we're all mad at each other all the time nowadays? There really isn't a solid one single answer to that, but it seems like it's just like, here's the opportunity to get angry at someone, so let's take it. We can certainly do the opposite, though, can't we?
You certainly can. You know, sometimes we find ourselves in this collective surrounding of things that are stressful to us, and sometimes if we're not careful, we take that out on other people. So to have a little bit of kindness injected, it's a wonderful thing.
Let's talk about it from a mental health standpoint. When there is so much negativity, there's so much anger in our lives, it can have even a physical effect on us, but certainly mentally it can really get us down.
It sure can. Sometimes we feel overwhelmed, we feel entrapped by the information, and we begin getting into a negative state of mind, and that spills over everywhere.
And the social media aspect of it just exacerbates it.
It certainly does. You know, it's not frequent that we can't open our phone and be exposed to something that is unfortunate, some element of bad news, and we got to find a balance to that.
Is there a benefit, Awstin, in someone doing an anonymous random act of kindness?
There is, and I think I might even be willing to debate that there is a bigger benefit in that anonymity than there would be to someone we know. Both powerful, but that anonymous segment, you really got to dig deep to an altruistic place, and a lot of times we find a lot of joy there too.
Yeah, and again, that's the receiver certainly gets a part of that benefit, but it really does rebound back to the person who performs that random act of kindness. And so we encourage people to do random acts of kindness. Maybe it's a little bit difficult, though, to understand exactly what that is.
You're right. It could be big or small. It could be something as simple as letting somebody over in traffic and not making them feel bad, or holding the door open, or just calling someone you haven't spoken to in a while, let them know that they're appreciated. These small acts of kindness, man, they go so far.
I would assume there are studies out there of the whole issue, especially since Random Acts of Kindness got popular a few years ago with Oprah. And so since that time, there have been concentrated efforts by some groups and some folks to go ahead and perform random acts of kindness. But the spontaneity of that is something that I think really stands out.
It sure does. And you're right. There are research studies that we see serotonin and dopamine, these two feel-good chemicals that help combat depression, anxiety, and help increase mental health. These two are activated when we do acts of kindness for other people.
Mm-hmm. So what does Connections Wellness Group do about that?
We encourage the sentiment of kindness. We will meet people, no matter where they're at, and give them tools to have a healthier life.
How does that work?
It's a little bit different for everyone, but, many times people struggling with mental illness may find themselves in a dark place that they think that they can't get out of. And so sometimes we just bring that bright flashlight. We give them skills that they could practice in everyday life, and one step at a time, we get out of that darkness and we improve our mental health.
And they multiply, don't they, those random acts of kindness?
Oh, yes. It has an exponential impact, because chances are that one act of kindness you did to somebody else, they may be inspired to do another act of kindness to someone else. And next thing you know, there's a whole lot of kindness running through our communities.
It's interesting to me as well that we see this manifested in a number of ways, but one of the most common ways is the drive-through line at your local fast food place. That's an easy way for people to have that random act of kindness multiply, because it becomes a chain.
It sure does, and that's the perfect example of this. It's such a great example.
Yeah, we see it a lot. We see it a lot, and we hear about it a lot. I know in my church there are some. There's a group of older ladies who go out and do that for that reason. We're going to go to the local fast food place today, and we're going to start the chain going. And once they do, it becomes something that really is, they enjoy it so much, talking to each other about it afterwards and seeing what they started. And that's really what the spirit of kindness is all about. So I guess, Awstin, your advice would be for us to look for the opportunities to perform random acts of kindness, not just wait for something to happen.
You're right. That would be the recommendation. See if there's one opportunity today to be kind to someone else. Bonus points if you don't know that person. And I'm willing to bet that act of kindness will multiply. And next thing we know, kindness, is a little bit more illiterate and surrounding us than all the negativity currently.
Yeah, you're absolutely right. All right, so where do we learn more?
Well, you can find us online at connectionswellnessgroup.com. And if there's any opportunity to help you or someone you know with mental health, it'd be an honor to serve.
Beautiful. Awstin Gregg, thanks for spending some time with us again this morning.
All right, take care.
Bye now. It is the voice of Indiana County. It's WCCS 101.1 FM and AM 1160.